part 2 of Catherine Paiz's book Dolores, I just finished reading chapter 4, and this is where Catherine gives her POV of what happens after Brazil. So now she's back in LA and they're mostly talking through WhatsApp. And she said that because of the language barrier and having to use a translator, their conversations were very honest and clear. There was no miscommunication, no misinterpretation, and she loved that. And she said that one day he brought up the fact that he knows she's in the limelight and she's famous, and that he understands that her online persona is different from the person he met at the retreat, and he decides to go with that version. And she said that for the first time in her life, she felt really heard and seen, and she didn't have to give an explanation or feel judged. And he finally decides to come to LA right before Christmas to spend 5 days with her. And she said that from the moment she saw him at the airport, she realized how physically attracted she was to him. And for her, that was strange because she usually falls for who the person is inside before she sees them for who they are physically. And she says that she couldn't believe that she was so attracted to him. They ended up staying at an Airbnb in the mountains, and she said that it was raining the entire 5 days that he was there, but that it was a blessing in disguise because she hadn't announced her divorce yet, so she didn't want someone taking pictures of her and posting it online before she could really tell her story. And she said that it was the best 5 days that she's ever experienced because they were able to really connect, not only emotionally but also physically. And during their time together, she found out that they listened to the same indie artists. They were finishing each other's sentences. They were laughing. They were just having such a fun and genuine time together. And then she gets to the juicy part, getting down and dirty. She describes it as never knowing how powerful lovemaking can make you feel when it's with the right person. She said with Igor, it was no shame, no judgment. It was all love and connection. And that was the first time she said she had been intimate with someone in 4.5 years. She hadn't done anything with anyone. And she said that she's glad that she saved herself because God gave her someone that was meant to receive her. And she says that it was just a very holy experience. They end up just spending the rest of the weekend making love, snuggling, watching movies, eating. And then she also said that with Igor, she had the best sleep in her life. She's never slept that peacefully before. And she ended up introducing him to 2 of her friends, and both friends loved Igor right off the bat, said that they're really great for each other. And then the last thing that she wanted to do before he left was to introduce Steele, her son, to him because her kids are her #1 priority. And Steele, being the other man in her life, she wanted to get his approval. And so the morning that he was leaving, she was on her way to the mall to buy Christmas gifts for the girls, and she was with Steele, and she decided to stop by the hotel right before Igor would get on his flight so that they could meet. And she said that Steele was very curious and that the interaction went really well, and she knew that this was the right move. Stay tuned for the next chapter.